Welcome, gamers, to One More Game. This is episode 20 on the 1st of August, 2022. Boys, I'm here with Swiftmida and ImPickleMatt. We made it to 20. Congratulations.
Thanks, dude. It's kind of surreal. It's awesome.
It's number 3 for me. So
Nah, just pretend like you're here the whole time, man.
That's right.
Welcome
Happy
to
anniversary, Taze.
Oh, thank you, man. One day late.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're wondering why we weren't live last night, I was celebrating my 7-year anniversary with my lovely wife who's playing Overwatch right behind me. So if you hear angry screams of rage, it's because someone killed her in Overwatch. But,
I heard that as an anniversary gift, you were giving up Heroes of the Storm. Is that true?
That's not... no comment. That's no comment. But on other news, Bonsai Gaming has officially signed up for Nexus Gaming Series Heroes of the Storm League. So yeah, that should make her pretty,
I'm excited.
Pretty excited.
Hopefully it goes better than last time we did it, because last time we did it, we were placed far too high for the skill level of our team, other than you and Will, and we just got owned every game.
Yeah, we are in the bottom division, lowest as possible this season, so it should be good.
Oh, are we really? I was wondering. I didn't actually. I wanted to look it up. I just never did.
Yep.
Last time you guys didn't have me, so that either means we're gonna win, or that's why we got the bottom division.
Yeah, it's gonna be the true litmus test. ImPickleMatt. Well, cool. If you're in the chat, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or what have you, thanks for joining us for episode 20. And we've been having a great time over the last about half year, at least Swift and I. And then we've been having a great time watching ImPickleMatt struggle week to week, stay connected in different fashions. So I have a very good feeling
throws at us.
This is going to be our first technical difficulty free one. So here we go.
All right.
Knock on wood. All right. So what you guys been up to these last 2 weeks? Flying, living it up? What's going on?
You go ahead, Swift.
For me, honestly, not a whole ton. I didn't fly last week because I felt like I was on my deathbed for like Monday, Tuesday for whatever reason. I think I had some like weird buffalo chicken salad that didn't sit, or buffalo chicken fries that didn't sit right with me. And so like Monday, Tuesday, I was kind of out of commission. And then this past weekend we did I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it, but the 3/10 is now an F-35 squadron, right?
Yeah.
So kill, push it up.
Dress to kill, yeah. But so now we're all kind of under the same roof of the 309th. We're still in the 310th building, but we're all in the 309th now. So we had our big like roof stomp because we had the change of command on Thursday. So roof stomp Friday. Savage Nicholas was in town. Good old Jimmy drove down from Vegas to hang out for the weekend.
Swift,
it was a fun weekend.
Educate our viewers and our listeners. What is a roof stomp?
Yeah. Okay. So roof stomp, I feel like it's changed recently because of us being millennials or whatever we are. Back in the day, a roof stomp was when a new commander showed up, took command of the squadron. The squadron would just show up randomly. You had no say in the matter, but you always had to have a stocked fridge full of beer and food, and you also had to have Jeremiah weed as another important part of the welcoming of the squadron. And dudes would literally just climb up on your roof. You're having dinner with the kids, whatever it happens to be, and they would just jump on your roof and you had to welcome them in. There was actually a grade sheet involved to see how you did. Nowadays it's much less so, that spontaneous. It's planned, and we actually went to another person in the squadron's house because they had a better backyard, and it was just a party, basically.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, just kind of another awesome pilot tradition that we aren't really Air Force / military tradition that we use an excuse to drink and have fun.
Yeah,
that's right.
Cool beans. Well, you guys ready to get into the news for the week?
Let's do it.
Send it. All right, I'm gonna give the listeners at home a little preview, a little guess. See if they can guess what this episode's major topic is going to be about. You boys won't be able to hear this, but they'll hear it. So I'm gonna play this little snippet. All right.
I mean, I hear it in my mind after just watching the video.
You know what it is. All right. Yeah. So, yep. Take a guess what you think we're going to talk about, and we'll get right into the news for the week. All right. Good news for you Steam Deck hopefuls out there. Steam has increased their production in Steam Decks, as well as PlayStation 5s, as was announced as upping production levels. So if you're looking to get your hand on those bad boys, those in the queue will probably get theirs this year, which means Swift and our good friend ImPickleMatt should have theirs in hand relatively soon.
Yeah, I'm still sitting on a Q3 time frame, and I ordered mine in July of last year. So I think I'm going to get it in August or maybe early September.
Nice. Maybe. And then Swift,
yeah,
I know
good.
you.
I was.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was wondering, but I hadn't actually checked yet. But I logged in today just prior to starting this, and supposedly Q4, October to December for me.
So nice. We'll see. Christmas time, just snuggled up by the fire, hot cocoa, and some Elden Ring in your lap.
Yeah.
No, it'll be. Oh no. I gotta figure out what games I'm gonna play for that now.
Yeah. I fired up some new titles on there we'll talk about later, but yeah, I'm excited for you guys. It's definitely a really cool piece of technology. I mean, I've got it right here just in case you guys start to bore me. I'm just going to fire it up and get in there.
Yeah, dude.
I get that. Might as well.
Cool. All right. Next bit of news. PT was remade in Halo Infinite. So if you've been wondering about the power of Halo Infinite's Forge, I don't know how many people have messed around with that, but they've always been kind of known for having a pretty robust forge where you can kind of build whatever your imagination can think of. And if you're not sure what PT is, basically it was a kind of a demo for, correct me if I'm wrong, but a Resident Evil game.
Oh, it was going to be a Silent Hill game.
Silent Hill, okay.
Yeah.
So what'd you pick up on this news article? Did you check it out? I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, I did. So PT, for the people that don't remember, people downloaded it to the demo to their PlayStation 4s, and a few months later, they took it off of the store completely. Like you couldn't re-download it, and they announced that they canceled the game. So those PS4s that had that demo on it were selling for like $1,000 on eBay because that was the only way you could play the game. And then PT has been remade a few different times, like in PS4's Dreams. If anybody ever saw that, that's like a content creation game. It's not even a game. Nobody really can describe it unless you play it. But it's been remade a couple times in different games. And then somebody made it for the new Forge here. So you're just a Halo character or Master Chief or something, but you're playing the exact PT demo that came out years and years ago.
Nice. So is there any like actual things that come out, or is it just kind of the map? I guess.
No, I don't know if all the video I watched didn't really show a whole lot of the actions that happened, but like the PT demo only had like maybe 10 like action things that happen, like spooky things. Okay. So it's not a very long experience, but it was one of the more creepy things. That's why everybody kind of loved it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it looks really good in Halo's engine, so nice work out
there. It's probably better graphics than the actual demo itself, since it's been nigh on 6 or 7 years, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. It's good to see people just reattacking those memes that we have as video gamers.
Do you guys remember the Halo 3 like Dawn of Forge when everybody went crazy with that and made a bunch of game types and stuff?
Yeah, when I was at the Air Force Academy, someone made a 1-to-1 replica of the Air Force Academy in Forge.
Wow,
that's crazy.
It's like,
that is crazy.
Don't you have homework or something, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Minecraft style.
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I remember joining all kinds of different LANs on the school network and going into people's Forge games and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think this is gonna save Halo Infinite. But
Maybe somebody will come up with some sweet game types that people love.
yeah.
Taze, I think all those people with cool forges were probably business management majors like me.
Yeah. You can be honest if it was you who made it.
No,
Tons of free time.
what was I doing? Nah, I was playing like Battlefield back then.
All
Yeah,
right,
and
well,
forging,
let's move on. Good Lord. Sony apparently had talked about raising the price on their old PS5, but looks like the board meeting has left that price hike on the table during their last earnings call. If you're wondering, they only sold about 2.4 million consoles, basically due to supply chain issues. So what they did instead to kind of recuperate some of those losses was raise prices on other electronics, which I'm not even quite. They make TVs still. They make surround sound Walkman,
DVD players, VCRs.
I bet you VCRs cost a pretty penny these days.
Yeah, for those people that just are so nostalgic and have to have it. Plus, they have like the Disney collection, like we used to have.
Right.
You can only play on VHS.
Yeah, I wonder. VCR was actually a very kind of physical medium too. Like you have to like get the thing that spins the actual tape through and everything, and the rewind and all that.
Right.
And it's not like these digital days that we have now.
I don't know what is happening with these cameras, but we're not having technical difficulties. We're not going to call it technical difficulties at this point.
It's not my fault this time.
Cool. What is the let's see, we already paid what, $500 for this PS5? What was the price? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was like $600 after tax with the Horizon Zero Dawn bundle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if a price hike would have. I think that might have been the cutoff for me. That was about as expensive as I was willing to go.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, their exclusives are carrying them, but I think what you'll see is a lot more people buying the digital only version now if they really want it. That way they can get $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to get a PS5 based on our last episode, then it might be the time to do it pretty soon.
Yeah. If they're talking about it now, it's definitely not something that's going to be completely off the table as we move on here. I'll tell you what I will pay for is a slimmer version of that damn thing.
Seriously.
Gotta have it.
Well, Savage, when he was here, he got the digital only, and he said he liked it better because he never had a PS4 or anything, so he had no discs. But he liked it better because it was symmetrical rather than having like jut out, on the bottom of it.
I'm telling you,
for the disc player.
So bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've made my money back on games traded in and sold after I actually played through them all.
Yeah.
No, you have not made your money
with the physical
back.
Copies. No, I mean I've made the $100 difference between the digital.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, by being able to resell things.
Cool. All right, moving on to one last bit of news that I kind of got involved in this week. So if you've been keeping your antennas open for what's going on with Dr. Disrespect's gaming studio, they basically dropped their first look at their game that they're developing, and it was called Project Moon, but the official title was released called Dead Drop, and they released a playable, call it a shooting range that you could run through, and kind of a basic, this is what the movement feels like, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're one of their, whatever they're calling it, founding members and got scammed by the NFTs that you bought, you were able to jump in there and check it out, which as a podcast host, I signed up for so that we could talk about it as this thing gets developed. So earlier today, I fired that thing up and started messing around in Dr. Disrespect's Dead Drop game. It's a first-person shooter, and that's about all we know. They call it a vertical extraction first-person shooter. But the thing that caught me off guard...
It's like Tarkov or...
Yeah,
cycle.
it feels like Tarkov meets Call of Duty meets like cyberpunk visuals.
Okay.
But it definitely caught me off guard because it was way more developed than I thought, based on kind of what the communications was going on in this Discord that you have to be in to be in this thing. So I fired it up and I was expecting to see like really bad visuals and kind of really clunky movement, and like I wasn't expecting to be able to shoot targets and have them fall down and all that kind of stuff. Dude, I fired this thing up. It was raining. There was ray tracing going on. Like, walked up to a gun, grabbed it. I'm able to aim down sights, shoot targets, move through a little course. Like, I was very, very surprised as to how far along they were in this game. So, I think that's a good sign of things to come, because I think up until this point, everyone was kind of like, this is a scam. I don't foresee this really going anywhere. But based on what I see so far, on how little time it's been since they've announced anything, I've got high hopes for this thing now. So we'll see. Did you guys see any of the gameplay or anything? People were streaming it.
No, I've only seen the original release about that, but as long as there's gameplay and that kind of thing, and it's not just NFT weird stuff, then hopefully it's okay.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how they integrate that whole NFT thing. As far as I can tell, you can... I don't really even know how to explain it. We'll have to do some more research on it, but you at some point will be able to trade / sell / customize based on the NFTs that you can purchase. I don't really know, but anyways,
I mean, it seems like normal video game skins, but maybe like more personalized.
right?
And then once you have a copy, that's your copy.
Yeah, that's kind of how I understand it.
I don't understand NFTs at all, but that's one of the most logical explanations of an NFT I've ever heard, or uses, I guess.
Right. When they first said like I was one of the founders or whatever, they sent me the NFT, right? And it comes with like a digital representation of what that is, and you have a unique to your NFT like visor design that nobody else has apparently.
Huh. Okay.
So that's kind of what they're getting at. But the cool part of it, the coolest part that I found about it is after you played, they send you this survey, and it asks you like a pretty in-depth survey, like 20, 30 questions about like what you thought about the gameplay. And the whole idea behind their studio, besides the NFT thing, is that they're trying to change the way that game development happens by integrating like the actual players a lot earlier into the process. So anyone who has access to it, hence by having one of these NFTs, has access to the slices of the game, they're calling it, every time they drop one of these demos. And then you also have access to the survey where you tell them your thoughts on the gameplay, and then supposedly they're going to adjust based on the data that they get. So we'll see how it goes, but it's kind of exciting to see someone trying something a little different.
Yeah, hey, sounds cool.
Big Eats 13 in the chat says, I can't hang out, but we'll listen tomorrow. Keep up the great work, gents. Thanks for the kind words, man. And hopefully you hear this tomorrow. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yep. iTunes, that's still a thing in some places.
Napster, LimeWire, wherever you might get it.
Well, Craig, I was going to read your Apple Podcast review, but now that you're ditching us, I'm not going to. But we'll see you.
Sheesh.
Just kidding. All right, guys. Any other news in the worlds of PickleMatt and Swiftmida?
Nope.
I got this boom arm now, so I'm pretty professional.
Yep. He's looking good, sounding good. He's still connected to the stream. It's a record. We are currently 20 minutes in, and he's still here. So proud of you. All right, gents, you ready to get in the games radar for the week? Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right, first up on the docket, 12 August, coming out on PC, is your Spider-Man Remastered. So we talked about this a little bit already, but if you haven't played the Spider-Man game on PlayStation, coming out on PC, remastered, and I gotta say, this game is so cool.
Man, I wonder what it's going to look like on PC because it looks amazing on the PS5. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty close, but if you don't have a PS5 or a PS4, you got to get this.
Yeah. I mean, this
And you
game
probably
is.
need a controller with it too, because I don't know how the web swinging is going to be with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, it is definitely a controller game. I will say that. But
God, it's so cool. Oh man, I mean, so many memories.
remastered with ray tracing, and it's gonna be real nice. Does that? Do you know if does that include the Miles Morales gig?
No.
Okay, that's a whole separate. Dude, I need to watch Into the Spider-Verse.
What? You haven't,
seen it?
No.
Until the latest Spider-Man movie, that one was my until the latest Spider-Man movie, that was my absolute favorite Spider-Man movie of all time.
Wow.
Agreed.
Okay. I'm in there.
It was so good.
It's one of the coolest art styles I've seen in a movie before, and it's just really well done.
Okay, so you guys can finish this podcast, and I'll go check that out. And
see ya, dude. Out of here.
All right. You get that to look forward to 12 August on PC for you guys who haven't played. All right. Next up, this is a very interesting one.
This is for you guys. I put this on the list for you guys.
This might be the one we make Swift play weird game this week. Coming out 2nd October, so tomorrow on PC, we've got August. The Mortuary Assistant. So let's check this thing out. So, PickleMatt, why don't you go ahead and read the description?
All right. So from Steam, having completed your degree in mortuary sciences, you've taken on an apprenticeship at Riverfields Mortuary. Late one night, you are called into work and handle some embalmings. Death doesn't keep daytime hours, but there is something different about these bodies because there's something different about you. The phone rings with the mortician on the other end. The rumors are true, and you cannot leave. And it goes from there.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And then it lists the first key feature of the game: perform embalming tasks while keeping demonic forces at bay.
Oh, why? Why do people make these games?
I don't know.
Are you going to play the trailer?
Who's interested in this?
I know.
Are you going to play the
serial killers? I don't know.
I've got something on that in a minute here.
Okay, let's see. Let's fire up this trailer and
Okay, viewer discretion advised. If you hate scary things or you're younger than 18, maybe don't watch
it.
Yeah, maybe Swift. It's not gonna work. All right.
Okay.
Well,
look it up on your own time.
Yeah, if you
look it up on your own time.
You want to check the Mortuary's Assistant out on PC tomorrow? Just go ahead and take work off and fire it up.
In the trailer, you're legitimately performing like mortician duties, where like you're like opening mouths and stuff and like making them smile. It's insane.
Oh gosh.
And then everything in the trailer has like the scariest part from every movie that I've ever seen. It's I don't even know if I'll be able to handle it, and I like horror games.
What? It's scientific. Look, mild abrasion on the head. We got mild abrasion on the left arm, a mole on the left leg, a mole on the left shoulder. It's very.
I like how in the first feature it's like perform embalming tasks while keeping demonic forces at bay. So you're so dedicated to this mortician job that you like, instead of like the demons show up, you would leave or something. You just like keep. Nah, I gotta do this.
Just gotta keep going. Otherwise,
look, dude,
otherwise you'd lose your job and then you don't have money.
They've got checklists. You'll be real good at this, pilots. You just follow the checklist, and you're good.
Oh. Can I read the discussion? The first discussion thread.
Yeah, it's right on Steam. The first discussion thread. Go ahead, send it.
So somebody said, why are the bodies wearing clothing? Wearing clothing kind of defeats the purpose of forensic medical examination and could lead to misdiagnoses. Please fix this and make the corpses nude. And the developer actually responded to it saying that they're not going to do that. But this confirms my suspicion in that if you download this game, you will immediately go onto an FBI watch list.
Yeah, that's all it's really for.
That person is a serial killer for sure.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Thanks for the like.
Oh, so creepy.
Yeah. I like how he tries to frame it in like legitimate.
Scientific
It could lead to misdiagnoses of these fake video game people. Yeah, this game
You're missing the point.
This game is trying to make money off of people with a very specific weird fetish. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about something a little more happy or something. So coming out on 5 August for PC, we've got Retreat to Enin. Not sure. In the aftermath of an environmental crisis, a new society has formed with a new reverence and relationship with nature. Return to Enin focuses on the rite of passage to prove your worth in this new world. Explore, forage, hunt, craft, base, build, and meditate as you make your home on the island of Enin. So this is the game you're going to need to follow up when you play the Mortuary Assistant. So you can get in, get some
lawnmower simulator,
virtual meditation.
Dude, it kind of reminds me and I don't know necessarily in the intent. I didn't watch the trailer, but it reminds me of Valheim. The graphics are a little bit better, but it's one of those kind of open world where you just kind of do your own thing and build your structures and try to live.
Yeah, it looks like a modern day Valheim, except
for the people listening, it looks like it's got ray tracing and really lush forest. It's kind of like Far Cry.
The graphics look great for sure.
Who knows what the gameplay is like, but
once again,
game I will. Oh, go ahead.
I don't see any other players in this, so I'm feeling like you're by yourself the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not going to play it though, because every time I play this kind of game, I get really into it, like way too into it, and then something bad happens to my character, and after like 60 hours of playing, I just give up. And I just realized how much I wasted my time.
Yeah, I remember going into your Minecraft world when we all had Switches in Korea, and it was pretty full up. You had like farms and like labeled.
I wonder if I could
labeled farm plots and.
I wonder if I could. That was a business management major, or no, that was Korea. Yeah. I wonder if I could get back into that. That was I had some pretty dope mines too. A lot of good mining.
Well, cool. Swift, which one of these are you going to play?
Probably none of them.
Okay.
How
listeners,
much do I have to pay you to play
Valheim was overwhelming enough. And I'd like to get in there and try it out and try to do something other than that first little area. But Retreat to Enin sounds like the same thing. And I'm most certainly not playing the Mortuary Assistant.
Everybody has a price, Swift.
Yeah.
I don't know that I do.
If you film yourself playing it, I will pay you good money.
If you stream it, you might become instantly famous overnight, but you also might die.
Dude, seriously, just a viral clip. Yeah. Viral clip of me ending up having a heart attack in my chair.
Yeah, but you'll go out like a burning star on top of the world with likes.
All right, folks, that is our games rate. Oh, go ahead, Swift.
I was just going to say, before we move on, NanoF16 asks, are most fighter pilots gamers? I would say probably not. Although these days it kind of is trending that way, that a lot of us like to play video games or grew up playing video games. Certainly not the old guys, because they laugh at us when we talk about video games, but I would not say the majority of people are, but we have a strong showing in the fighter pilot community.
I mean, I think it's kind of just a product of the generation. Like the younger fighter pilots are gamers just by growing up in this time frame, and the older ones are all about, I don't know, man stuff, drinking beer and
making their own beef jerky.
Yeah, smoking brisket, and which, we can do that too.
I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. They like to hang out with their families and stuff. Anyways, just kidding, babe. I love you. All right. That's it. If you are excited about a game coming out or would like us to preview something before the game is released, just let us know. Just send us a little email over to OMGpodcastGG@gmail.com, or you can reach us at OMG_podcastGG. on Twitter and Instagram. And we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you want to hear about. What do you want us to talk about? What do you want us to shut up about? What? Just
Yeah. Do we make the podcast shorter? Do we make it longer? We're here for you.
And if you
Do
look
we
down
kick off
there,
I'm Pickle Matt.
yeah, let's start a poll in the chat. There's 6 to 9 people watching. Let's see what we got. Anyways, all right. 9F16 said she'd like to hear about older games, which we can add a segment of. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Cool beans. All right. Or if you really want to support us, what you can do is head on over to Apple Podcasts and click that review button. You can leave us a little 5-star review or whatever you think about us, just like Craig the Ghost 13 did this week. And he said, quote, highly recommend. Loving this new podcast and looking forward to more episodes. Can't wait to see what these guys have in store. Thanks, Craig. You the man. Thanks for the support. Seriously, thanks for the support from all of you guys over the last half of the year. It's been awesome to see this little community grow and watch our little creation grow and get more members and another co-host. So we just really appreciate all the support, and you can continue to share and let us grow. Because we got 20 episodes done, but we ain't stopping.
Nope.
Cool beans. All right, guys, you ready to move on to the big topic of the week?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. All right, if you guessed it from the sound at the beginning of the show, we're going to talk about the Xbox, a little history, just like we did last week with PlayStation, and see if we can give it a fair shake based on, the console that the three of us grew up on, at least in our adolescence, and we'll hit you with some knowledge. So, all right, so let's be transparent. I think I'm the only one with the most current Xbox out of the three of us. Correct?
Yes,
that's true.
I've turned that thing on less than the number of fingers I have, so by no means is this thing like forefront in my life, but special place in my heart. So let's talk a little bit about where it all started, all right? We're not going quite as far back. So it's 98. PickleMatt, what's going on in the world of PickleMatt 1998?
Getting ready for Y2K. Only got 2 more years left, and then
end of the world.
I think I'm in grade school playing Sega Genesis and Dreamcast, probably, maybe. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, probably some PlayStation mixed in there.
Yeah, PS2, PlayStation 1. I don't know. Whatever.
I think it's still on PlayStation 1 because when the Xbox came out, it came out before Well, we'll talk about it. Anyways. Cool. Swift, 98. You were, what? Just on your second deployment, I think?
Yeah. Spry little 10-year-old, just outside with the boys playing games in the cul-de-sac.
Can you dunk
Popping
yet?
some scotch.
If you don't know, Swift
I
is
could
like
not dunk
6'8" with like 4 foot long arms. So
I'm not quite as tall as the doc, but yeah, 6'4", and
42.
my arms are atrociously long.
42-inch vertical leap. All right,
That's right.
98 for me. God, I was in middle school, I think. Definitely playing some Dreamcast, some PS1. Probably playing some Game Boy, I imagine. Some Pokemon was going on.
Oh, yeah.
At the time.
Oh,
Game Boy Color.
And I just remember the Xbox being announced, and I was like, I gotta have it. I don't know what it is, but I like it. So in 1998, a group of Microsoft employees, they go over to Mr. Bill Gates, who probably was the richest man in the world at the time, and they said they had an idea for a console. And they successfully were able to convince that man to back the project. Dude, what do you got? Do you remember anything about the announcement of this thing? I do remember one thing we'll try to watch, but
I remember nothing about the announcement because the internet was like, I remember looking at memes on the internet like in 2002, but I think this was before like everybody had AOL.
Right. One thing, YouTube wasn't a thing back then, so you kind of had to watch everything live. And I don't even know where this would have aired, but we'll take a look at it. So,
Yeah.
So we talked about this man, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson,
National treasure, baby.
in one of our episodes ad nauseum. So this guy was still doing what he does nowadays, promoting stuff and kind of just being generally obnoxiously in your face all the way back in 1998. Still
Yo,
looking.
he looks about the same size as Bill Gates, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah. That's what
Bill
Swift
Gates is
and I were
standing
talking
closer
about.
to
Like
the camera.
what he looks like now versus what he looks like back then is not even close. But
and apparently the Matrix was definitely in 1998 because he looks like Morpheus.
He's got those glasses. And Bill Gates looks exactly the same. I'm pretty sure they cryogenically freeze him at night to keep him from aging. But so watch this weird like announcement thing that they got going on with this Xbox. Like I won't play the sound so we don't get DMCA'd, but this was just so awkward. Like you got one of the nerdiest, smart, rich men in the world talking to someone who probably doesn't play video games ever, talking about this new console. And there was a part of this where there were some dudes jumping around like it was, I don't know what was going on. Maybe it's not going to show it, but yeah, so there you have it.
Do you remember the Windows? I think it was the Windows XP launch or something like that. It was when Bill Gates and some of the software engineers were presenting, and it was the most awkward thing because they started playing music and all of these
they're like dancing.
Very nerdy like software engineers start dancing on the stage, and it's
too funny.
Please look that up if you're after you're done watching or listening today.
Yeah, if so right here you can probably imagine Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's talking about like processing power and CUDA cores and things like that. So it's getting real in
things he knows a lot about. I'm sure.
Yeah, and then old Bill here is talking about the people's elbow and all that. So cool beans.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, marketing was really strange back then, but yeah, there you have it. The announcement of the Xbox was done by Bill Gates and The Rock. Cool. All right, so you dudes, I think PickleMatt was the first person to tell me this. So if you don't know in the chat, Matt, where did they get the name Xbox from?
Yeah, so they got it from obviously they wanted to launch a console with the processing power of a PC and be more like a PC itself, obviously since they're Microsoft. So they were using DirectX. So their initial pitch was the DirectX space box. So DirectX box. And that obviously did not flow off the tongue very well. So sounds like they shortened it.
Well, you know what? That's a better name than Xbox Series X. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that for sure.
Cool. DirectX. Yeah, we still use DirectX. We're on 12 now, but yeah, interesting. Cool. So it launched with twice the processing power of PS2 and releasing a year later in 2001. It had a built-in Ethernet port, and it's the first time we had a built-in hard drive, so no memory cards. And it also had that massive controller. Like, maybe that's why that controller was so big, because they had The Rock as their
he was playtesting it.
Yeah. Nice.
That controller was so horrible. I remember I didn't have an Xbox right away, so when we played Halo at my friend's house, I would always get that stupid original Xbox controller because everybody else was using the new one. Oh,
yeah.
It's like it's such a bad controller.
It's probably more effective as a weapon than a controller.
Yeah.
Did you have the original Swift, the big boy?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
I
didn't get an Xbox until 360.
Okay. The other weird thing was that the buttons weren't symmetrical circles. They were like off-axis, ovally strange looking, like alien blobs.
And they weren't in the like organized in the shape of a diamond, like most controllers. They were like off kilter, like a flattened diamond almost. And whoever came up with that is probably also came up with a naming convention for the future Xboxes.
Yeah, this thing was just god awful. Actually, let's just pull it up because we need to talk about this. So there you have it. That one on the left, that's called the Duke affectionately nowadays, but I mean, I'm telling you, like my kid hands were like barely able to make this happen. And also, oh yeah, it had the black and white buttons. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the special buttons.
It's almost like they were just trying to be so unique that they just went overboard. But God, remember how it had those two little slots on the top too? I think for like your microphone maybe and your memory card. Yeah, maybe it was one slot. I don't remember, but it had two. It had some slots on the top of it. Cool beans. Well, there you have it, and it was all downhill from there. So, as you might have guessed, the Japanese absolutely hated this thing. It only sold 123,000 units in its first week, and not a whole lot of games were marketed there or made there. So when you have one of the biggest video game cultures in the world not participating in the game development and hardware development for a console, you're going to have a little bit of a rough start. Cool. So this was the only Xbox that never got an updated version, like a smaller, slimmed down version. We just had this big, ugly Xbox the whole time. But I think it was the first console, or maybe Dreamcast, but it had 4 ports where you could play.
Nintendo 64, but yeah,
but like the CD era. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had to get the multi-tap for the PS2 to get 4 controllers on there.
Right. God, this was the era where people made proprietary plugs. So like it wasn't even USB. Like
I know, yeah.
They were their own. I mean,
we still do that. I've got this micro USB microphone. Like what do we? It's not 2012. Everybody needs to use USB-C, okay? All the developers and engineers that are listening to this, just switch to USB-C and let's be done with it.
I think some countries are starting to mandate that by law.
It's like the metric system. We'll never do it.
Not in America.
Freedom.
All right. Well, so yeah, the rest of the versions got an updated either slim or pro version, what have you, but the original was the only one that never got updated. Cool. And then
part of that was because they were struggling with the Japanese market and then other things that we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But then something very big happens in console gaming, and this kind of changed really my vector when it came to video games. So in 2002, we get the launch of Xbox Live. So now we're able to play console games, and in this case, Halo, in 2002 with everyone else. So Xbox Connect, what is that?
Do you guys remember Xbox Connect?
So was that how you could like essentially LAN to Xboxes before Xbox Live?
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like the Napster for Xboxes, if you will. So you could play over the internet, and then somebody's router or home connection would be the dedicated host. And I remember playing at my friend's house, Xbox Connect, Halo Combat Evolved, and people would cheat all the time by hitting the standby button on their router if they were the host.
Oh,
but the host obviously would dominate all the time because you'd have the perfect connection and everybody else would be 2001 internet behind.
Yeah, dude, I remember Xbox Live, but it was kind of expensive, so I was like, damn, I really need this, but like I was like mowing lawns aggressively to keep affording to pay for this service.
Now they have simulators for that.
Yep. Oh, we'll get to it.
Can you get paid to do that in somebody else's game?
In the metaverse.
In the metaverse, yeah.
Nice. Well, cool. Yeah, so Microsoft was losing money on every console that they sold, basically for the entirety of the original Xbox. I remember this thing dropped in price $100 6 months after release, which is, I think, right where I lived when I bought mine. We already talked about it, but I was using layaway at old Walmart, going in there a little bit at a time, just dropping $10-$20 at a time.
Yeah, you had probably saved up enough, just weren't quite at the original price, and then it dropped, and you were like, "I'm going to Walmart. I gotta get
I'm
it."
going to Walmart. Yeah,
Got
it
on
dropped
my
at $199, which is fairly cheap for that kind of console.
yeah. Definitely not a moneymaker for them. So they're their goal here was just to get it out there so they can start kind of competing, but they're going to suffer for quite a bit. But if there's any company that can sustain that sort of thing, it's Microsoft, right? So, but there were rumors that they were about to exit the market until what happens, PickleMatt?
Halo 2, baby.
All right.
Oh.
Swift, were you on the Halo 2 train?
No.
Oh my god!
I mean, I would go over to
Wow.
buddies' houses and play, but
Yeah.
Do you even
again,
BXR,
I
dude?
didn't own an Xbox, so all I could get was if I was able to go over to buddies and play. Otherwise, I think probably still playing my N64 or outside playing sports.
So you don't know about sword sniping. You don't know about super bouncing. None of that.
No.
Mid-chip swords.
Glitching the bomb out of the map. Nothing. Okay. Big team
Nope.
battle. Damn.
I mean, from recent Halos, sure, but
So this game, I mean, Halo had its definite following, right? And it's probably why Halo 2 does so well. But Halo 2 combined with the power of Xbox Live creates this culture, this online gaming culture where you form your squads now. And I remember logging on every single day with my friends and playing Halo 2 on Xbox Live all day, every day. It's where I learned how to talk shit. It's where I learned how to cheat at video games. It taught me all the valuable skills in life. Thanks, Microsoft.
All the most valuable skills.
Yeah.
So they sold 2.5 million copies at release, and $125 million was made, and that was the most successful entertainment product ever out of movies, video games, music album drops, which is just wild to think about.
Yeah, I remember they were so adamant about this release date that it was like tattooed on the developers' arms like 2 years prior.
Yep.
And it was this huge event. I remember everyone going to the...
Is that hazing?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, did they have to do that? Like,
yeah, is that a requirement?
I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of insane. Most successful media launch day one of anything ever, which is mind-boggling. And this was the time where if you were a kid, you couldn't buy this by yourself because it was rated M for mature. So your parents had to literally be there, which was insane. Now looking back at it, right, like Halo 2 violence-wise compared to, I don't know, for example, the mortuary's assistant.
Yeah, I know, right? You were killing like guys in suits and aliens and barely any blood.
Yeah, so the Halo culture kind of establishes this timeline for how we kind of play online games, especially first-person shooters with friends. It's where we invented call-outs for different parts of the map, strategies, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of the terms we used back then still get kind of recycled into other games these days, but cool. All right, Noble 14. What's going on here?
I just thought this was cool when I was looking at the history of the Xbox. So the Halo 2, they ended support for Halo 2 on Xbox Live, I think in 2010. And apparently, instead of just shutting off the servers like they do nowadays, if you stayed connected, like in custom games, you could just stay connected indefinitely until everybody logged out. So there was 14 people that were logged into like custom matches, and their goal was to stay logged in as long as possible. And I think they kept it up a few months, and it became like a big a big thing in the gaming community where Xbox even recognized them and gave them like free Xbox Live extensions and stuff like that, just to hold on to Halo 2 online.
That's awesome. I do
That is
remember
cool.
joining a custom game that was like, I don't know if it was this specific game, but I remember the servers were still like up and stuff during this time, but it was like known as like the longest running, continuously running custom game.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
and so every once in a while you'd pop in there and see what was going on, and people would recycle in and out, but it's kind of cool. So I wonder what it ended up making them shut down. Did it say in the story?
Yeah. So like people would have like connection difficulties or people would like move. And then I think the second to last guy that logged off had like an internet interruption or something.
No.
Oh,
And then the last guy, they got like a message from like the Halo developers and stuff. And he was a hero.
That's awesome. I love how they call him the Noble 14.
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was some cool stuff, man. I remember the community back then. I mean, that's where toxicity also began, like the stuff that people would say was terrible, but people would come up with different game types, like zombies was invented in that game, and you would be on the red team unless you got killed by a zombie. Then you would have to, like, on your honor, switch over to the green team, and you'd only have a sword.
Yep.
And so it was all these like fan made or player made games that kind of just grew out of nowhere. It was really neat. But I remember there was one custom game where we all just got on this one map and got in warthogs. Everyone had a warthog, and we would just literally drive across the map and ram into each other and watch the terrible physics happen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we'd just do that for hours.
It might be because I was like the perfect age for this, but I think this was like the golden era of gaming where like the internet was first getting figured out, and then you could do like LAN parties and stuff like that. And like there wasn't, I don't know, just today it seems like everything's either too easy or just too fragmented for the community that was involved in the early days.
Yeah. I mean, there was one show in town back then. Like, you played Halo online, and unless you were a
Yeah.
PC gamer, real deep in the weeds, like that's Age of Empires and all that kind of stuff. But
Yep.
this is what you had, and everyone was on the same thing. Nowadays, everyone's on thousands of different games online all the time. But
And people aren't even playing games; they're watching people stream games now. You know.
right. Dude, I have a really cool story from the Halo 2 time frame. Me and my buddy Dom were pretty into this game, like getting semi-competitive. And then we had heard about like the competitive scene, and people started becoming famous in that scene. So I don't know if you remember the Ogre twins. Ogre 1 and Ogre 2 were like,
Oh, I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
yeah, they were like world famous, winning all these tournaments and stuff. Video game world famous. But one day, me and my buddy Dom, before school, I went over to his house and then we were going to go to school from there. And we log in for a duo 2v2 match. And lo and behold, Ogre 1 and Ogre 2 are logged in. And we get down to, it's 49. We're up by 1 kill, 49 to 48. And we're in the center of the midship map. And
yeah.
I go to throw a sticky grenade that's going to kill him for sure. And my buddy Dom jumps and I stick him and betray him. And then they kill us and we lose by 2.
You will never let him live that down.
No, it was kind of my fault too, because it's like line of fire, you know. But
Yeah.
that was the glory that didn't happen.
So close.
Cool. All right. So then we move into the dark times where the Xbox 360 begins Microsoft's terrible naming convention themes starting in November of 2005.
You should have done 2. Just do 2.
I didn't get it. Like, what was do you remember? This is your first Xbox, right, Swift? The Xbox 360?
Yeah, it was.
Mine too, yeah.
I think we talked about this, but you and I, we waited in line outside, right, on like launch day. Was this one that we talked about, Swift? Yeah.
Yep.
I remember getting blizzarded, and because that's a word. Waiting for like I'm standing in line. People got tense, and I'm like, oh God, I hope I make it, because I'm like number 15 in line, and I'm not sure how many consoles they're gonna have. Yeah.
That's
and then
awesome.
this was
You
also
know what I was doing
what
to try to get a console? I was collecting Mountain Dew bottle caps. So Mountain Dew was doing the giveaway for the Xbox 360, and my dad was a sportscaster at the local TV station. So I would go to the college football games with him and then just walk the stands at like 11:30 p.m. Like when he was finishing up his shoot. And I would just grab all the Mountain Dew bottles I could find and grab the caps, and I did not win.
Yeah, that's how
It was a
you know.
scam.
That's how you know those contests are bull.
I know. Such a scam.
Yeah. Nice, man. Did you get the red ring of death ever?
I never did. No, I was one of the lucky few, I feel like.
Nice. I did. I got it.
I got it too. They send you the coffin to put it in.
They sent you you buried it in this box and sent it off, and they hopefully fixed it. But my buddy got one, and sent it back, and it fired up red ring of death right away when he turned it back on.
That was such a bad problem. Do you remember that you had to remove the faceplate so that you would not lose the faceplate on the flip side?
Yep. God, what a terrible
just in case
situation.
Had custom faceplates or something.
Yeah, there you have it. So the Xbox 360, I don't know why they called it the 360. It's baffling. It had the removable hard drive on the top, which was kind of weird. It's also the first time we see like a really not normally shaped like console. It was kind of angular and rounded.
Yeah, PS3 changed that too.
Yep. And then what was the entertainment center that you could do HD?
You could hook it up to like your PC, and like they're trying to pitch like the whole like built-in home theater system. Yeah. I remember like getting super excited to try to hook it up to my PC, but it wasn't really that cool. And then obviously you had an HD DVD sold separately that you could try that nobody bought.
What a disaster. This is also, I think, the first time where they tried to iterate the Kinect, where you had a little camera that you could connect to it, and it would integrate with certain games. It would look at your hands, but it didn't have any like Kinect controllers, I don't think. But it was super gimmicky and lame.
I remember the launch of the 360 didn't have very many good games like most launches are. They had like Viva Pinata and Perfect Dark Zero remake or whatever.
Yeah.
It was funny. Nothing good.
Eventually got Halo 3 on there, and I played Oblivion on that thing a lot. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, they eventually come out with the Xbox 360S, which was just a smaller version, kind of supposedly didn't have the red ring issues, and then they sold about 84 million units, which was the best for Microsoft so far. So they're gaining a little bit of ground and starting to show Sony that they're at least going to compete, but nowhere near the numbers that we're seeing for PlayStation 2. And then we move on to the Xbox One. So this is where they really, really leaned into like this is going to be
Xbox.
Yeah. Sorry.
Xbox One, the third.
If you're confused, don't worry. We all are. It is the Xbox One, but it's the third Xbox, and they were trying to convince you that this was going to be the last entertainment thing that you ever purchased because you were going to run all your apps from it. It was like the first smart console that had all those integrations. But they forgot one important thing about video games, and that's fun video games. So there was almost nothing of note that launched with this thing. They're still kind of trying to ride the coattails of Halo, and it's just kind of petering out there. I think this is also the time where they switch from Bungie making Halo games to 343, which kind of drastically changes Halo. Let's see, Swift. This is where you said you kind of started going hard Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only console that I had for a long time because I upgraded after college. I upgraded from the 360 to the One. And just like you said, like, dude, I still have this thing downstairs on my entertainment center, and that's what Shannon and I watch TV with. Like, we don't have cable or anything, so we use all the apps on the Xbox, and that's how we entertain ourselves as we're eating dinner or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a long time, Korea, Shaw until we deployed, and I switched over to the laptop. For a long time, I was Xbox only. I had the PS4, which we talked about last week, but really just enjoyed the Xbox for whatever reason over the PS4.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. From 2013 until basically the Series X comes out, you're still working with some fashion of Xbox One all the way through. So,
right.
Do you guys remember? So at E3 2013, Microsoft announced. So Microsoft went first in their presentation, and then Sony was going to go like 2 hours after them. So Microsoft went first, announced Xbox One at $500, and then literally 2 hours later, Sony announces the PS4 at $400 starting price. And then Microsoft had these weird online requirements for games and restriction on used games that they had announced. And I can imagine that the C-suite Microsoft dudes and like all the game developers and stuff were just not the game developers, but the Xbox designers were just in the back, just like dumbfounded and defeated and crying when all Sony's announcement happened.
Do we just march back out there and say, "Oh yeah, well we're $300 now"?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right.
And like, but eventually they walked all that back by the time the console released. But it was a pretty funny moment in gaming history where everybody knew that they were going to announce 2 consoles, and Sony just blew them out of the water with just being normal.
Yeah, it also came with that like you had to have the Kinect with it when you bought the first one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You remember? I think I had this in pilot training, and I just remember all the frustration of like trying to get the voice commands to work.
Oh,
Xbox on, Xbox on.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I used my Kinect for was turning the Xbox on. What a waste.
And then your douche friend would walk in and be like, you'd be mid Halo match, and it'd be like, Xbox off. I hate you.
Dude, you know, the Xbox One on sound was so loud when I try to like wake up early in the morning without anybody awake, and he'd be like, everybody knows I'm playing Xbox now.
Yeah. Well, cool. And then they kind of iterate on this thing, so then you get the X. All right, so
you can't even like say it with a straight face now that everything else is out.
I do have to remember one other thing to talk about. So also at E3, they had playable demos of games it was supposedly on the Xbox One, and somebody had like opened up the case that it was in, like the supposedly the console was in.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah,
and the games were running on a PC. They weren't even on Xbox, which is crazy.
That was like,
no kidding.
That E3 was so controversial. It was so fun to be alive in that time and watching that as a nerd.
People lost it. It was really funny. I thought it was the end of Xbox at that point because I was like, oh no. But I was a fanboy at that point, so I was buying this thing regardless.
Same.
Cool. Yeah, they sold 51 million units of this thing, so not quite as great as the old 360, but now we're moving on, and the age of 4K gaming starts to come about, and we're going to get really just way more clarity when it comes to how we name these things. So we're also going to come out with 2 more versions, the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. Like what? How? They're the 2 letters that sound very similar, so there's that problem.
And then not a couple years later, they named their newest consoles the exact same name.
But they put the series in between. Don't you get it?
What?
Yeah, dude,
what
big difference.
Were they?
Yeah. I really don't know. Like what board meeting this? It's like they titled it like a project name and then never got around to like actually making the real.
So we can talk about it now. Chat. Anybody in the chat have any guesses on what the next Xbox is going to be, if there is one? I wonder if I think they're just committed now. They're fully committed. They're on a bonsai flow. Like they can't do anything else now. So they're gonna it's gonna be like Xbox Ultimate X or something, and just instead of Xbox 5, which would be the easy kill.
I would just start over, like Xbox One with a number 1, and just
the third Xbox One.
Okay, maybe Xbox 2.0. I don't know. Just start
Xbox
over.
5 would be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that would get the fans going on for that.
I think they wanted to be not one number behind PlayStation. So that was probably because like soccer moms wouldn't know that they were buying
That
the
kind of
best
makes
console.
sense.
They'd be like, "Oh, PlayStation 4 or Xbox 3. I'm going to go with the PlayStation."
Yeah. 360? Oh my God. I need that.
Yeah. What are these other ones?
Wait a minute. Xbox One? This is old news. I don't know what the F they're doing. Oh God. Cool. All right. And then we get the Series X and the S. So, I mean, powerful consoles by all rights. Like everyone is generally happy with the Xbox Series S and X. But the naming, I just can't get over it. The S is
Yeah,
very small, like very compact, small form factor.
I bought that for one of my friends, and we opened it just to take a look, and I was very surprised at how tiny that thing was.
Yeah, it's
I guess,
it feels like an old DVD player, like size wise, very small.
yeah. Meanwhile, you have the obelisk shrine to like the arrival aliens of the Xbox
Yes.
Series X.
Yeah, it's got a cool grate on the top, and it's green underneath, so that's cool. I you guys have no plans on buying this bad boy.
Absolutely no
No
plans.
reason for you.
Nope.
I wonder if Microsoft is going to go more towards not having a console soon and just do Game Pass. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Not everybody has a gaming PC, but it just seems weird to have a gaming PC and buy an Xbox. But maybe that's what their market is after, is just people that don't have a PC.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go that route. I mean, they're very aggressive about getting Game Pass on all possible devices. So who knows? I mean, if this one doesn't sell very well compared to PlayStation and Switch, like maybe they just go, "Hey, PlayStation, Xbox Game Pass is a service that we'd like to offer on your consoles, and we'll stop competing with you in that market, hardware wise."
That'd be crazy. I don't like that though, because with no competition, I don't know. Competition generally breeds like better stuff.
True.
But
True. I mean, with how cloud stuff is going, I wouldn't be surprised in 15 years if any company makes a console. It'll just be something you can play on your TV natively. But we'll see. All right. Well, what about accessories? We'll get in real quick. We talked about the Kinect. It was so stupid and still is. And stop. Just don't.
The Xbox 360 wireless headset, I had one of those. It was like the asshole Bluetooth wearer that drives a Corvette.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. But I remember how painful that was to wear on your ear for more than about an hour. But gosh dang, I think I always kept that thing charged, and I was always using that thing.
I never had the wireless one.
I had the wired one, and I think I still have the picture from college somewhere.
That flimsy wired headset.
It was so cheap, and it was at some point my roommate and I were playing Halo in college, and he like slams it on the ground and it breaks. Go figure. And so we did a nice little tape job on it, and basically taped it to his face.
And then we could hear you breathing for an eternity.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
I know we talked about the console players with horrible mics, and that was totally us in college.
Oh, that's so funny. I had a really cool like Halo 2 custom, or not custom, but like specific, that was like, it was like in ear, and then it just had a really thin mic, but it broke very quickly.
Yeah.
But I mean, this was the first online comms, right? Like Xbox Live was the first time we were talking to each other, even PC wise. Like I don't remember. I guess maybe some MMO players early in the days were playing and connecting with TeamSpeak and all that. But yeah, it was a really cool. Do you guys remember how it seemed like the the Xbox and the 360 like online interface was perfection. Like I remember going into matchmaking super quickly and easily, finding friends, adding them, joining their parties, leaving seamlessly, no loading, no connection issues. Like it was all no issues.
I think that was the gold standard. I think that's what really their claim to fame will be, if anything, from gaming. I think they set especially Halo 2. Like Halo 2 was the first game with perfect Halo 2 and Halo 3, I think, with perfect matchmaking.
Yeah, they
for
had
the time at least.
They had clans and like you could customize your emblems, and it was all really cool and easy to do. And I log into Halo Infinite, and I'm like, why is the interface so bad when they were nailing this in 2000 whatever?
Probably just took it for granted. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
You guys remember the accessory, the wireless Ethernet adapter for the 360?
Yeah, I do remember that.
You had to buy that and plug it into the back. I had that, and then the custom faceplates that never took off for that thing.
Yeah, I think I got one of those actually.
I think I got one, but then I was like, "This is dumb," and took it off.
Like you kind of felt a little too nerdy at that point.
Well, it just like it didn't make sense because it was just the front of the console. The rest of the console was white.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we talked about console exclusives for PlayStation last week. Xbox doesn't have nearly the repertoire that they have over there, but there's probably the most famous, I would say, console exclusive, and Swift talked a little bit about it last week, but Halo kind of differentiated the consoles for a long time. Like you either bought the Halo machine or you bought PlayStation, right? Like that was what we were doing. And then you happen to be able to play other games on Xbox.
Yeah. Yep, that's accurate.
Did you play any of the other exclusives, Swift? Remember any?
Forza.
Yeah.
Forza I played. I never played Gears of War.
Oh my gosh, I played so much Gears of War on the Xbox 360. It was disgusting. I was really good too.
Never got into that, dude. Like I said, I mentioned it last week. I think Halo was like the big one for me. Like that's the reason. Like you talked about. That's the reason I got an Xbox, to play Halo.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, without that game, I think Xbox fails very early.
For sure, because Halo Combat Evolved launched with the first one. There was no reason to own the first one.
Yeah, so they really knocked it out of the park with that game, but they kind of live and die by that standard for the rest of their illustrious console career.
Did you guys play Fable?
I loved Fable.
Nope. Fable was, besides The Witcher 3, I think Fable is one of the best RPGs ever created.
It did some revolutionary stuff like
kicking chickens.
Chicken chaser.
Yeah, that's right.
Swift, you should the anniversaries, Fable anniversary is for sale on Steam. You should check it out because it is worth a look, because it's got all the stuff that I know you would like. It's got this cool system where like the actions that you do dictate like whether you're good or evil, and as you grow eviler, because that's all I ever did.
That's all anyone did.
You start like growing horns and like blackness surrounds you. Like you become evil.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. And like every playthrough is completely different because you make all kinds of different choices. It's a really good game, and it has a very crazy twist. At least the first one does.
I remember in the dawn of Apple Podcasts on iTunes, I would download podcasts about Fable 2 before the release to like get on the up and up on this game, because I love the first one so much.
Yeah, those games are great. But they're I think they were kind of niche. Like they didn't get quite as popular as some of the other stuff did, but great games.
Yeah.
And you could get wives. You need them.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was like one of the most evil things you could do was marry someone and then kill her.
Yep. I remember that.
Or you
You'd
could
lose a lot of points.
you could lead
Nice wholesome game.
you could lead these lost merchants in a forest to this temple and sacrifice them.
Oh my god.
It was great.
So
Cool.
powerful when you're evil, though.
KOTOR, was that was a console exclusive Xbox?
I don't know. I had to Google console exclusives because I couldn't think of more than the 4 that we already talked about, and that came up on Google. I don't know. Was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic chat console exclusive for Xbox? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it was. I thought it was on PlayStation. Maybe not. I didn't actually play that game all that much. I think I rented it from Blockbuster, and then I was like, "This is a cool game," but I ain't spending another $8.99 for 1 week on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, it was a console exclusive was Viva Pinata. So if you had the dreams of making a pinata garden, the Xbox was for you.
Ugh. Yeah, they kind of struggle in the console exclusive department now that I think about it. But
Do you
Maybe it
remember
was good.
Fusion Frenzy for Xbox?
oh, I played that the other day with Liam.
Yeah, that was like Mario Party response by Xbox.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. The mini games in
That was a
that
good game.
are awesome.
Yeah, that was a really good game.
Fusion Frenzy. Only the real gamers know that game.
I think the original Xbox shipped with a demo disc with Fusion Frenzy on it. So
Oh,
you
it
could
did.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
You're
play
right.
like 5 of the mini games or whatever.
Cool. All right. Well, we talked about a lot so far, but let's talk about kind of the future of this console. We hit on it a little bit, but you think Swift is a Game Pass member. Are you a Game Pass guy, PickleMatt?
On and off, depending on if I see something I want to play on it.
Yeah. I mean, you got everything you want on PC now, Xbox wise, right? For the most part. I'm sure there are some console only games on there, but if I can play Halo on PC, like, I don't know why I need an Xbox, to be honest.
I have no reason to do even that. So
Yeah.
with the new one,
It's so sad because it was such a, like, everyone loved it, and then they just, for reasons unbeknownst to anyone, just stopped playing
it's
it.
because we all turned 30.
Sure.
Also, all the connection issues and all the BS that you've already talked about that was so inherent to the game so many years ago, and we
Yeah.
struggle with it now. Like, really?
Yeah, it's kind of
Come on.
frustrating.
Yeah.
I think it was in the Xbox One early lifespan when the Master Chief Collection was announced and coming out. Probably like top 5 most disappointed gaming moments of my life when I fired that thing up. Jen can attest to this. I was at Shepherd and I'm sitting on the couch. It's like midnight. The game comes out. I download it. I'm like, yes, I'm going to play Halo 2. And connection
No, you're
issues.
not.
Like, never
yeah.
connected, never got a match.
They like apologized for that one and everything. Like that game was, that was so bad.
Yeah, Pitwob, I was living with him at the time, 423 in the chat, and yeah, we just sat there like wanting to play so bad and just feeling so sad.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
play Capture the Flag on Rat Race. That's
yeah.
all I wanted.
Oh,
No.
I just want to go on midship. That's it. Like, let me sword someone, you know? Let me noob tube
good.
someone.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyways. Yeah, so what do you I mean, I really do think, just like you said, Xbox Game Pass is their future, and shortly, because they're going to run out of terrible names to name this thing, they're going to stop making consoles.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's always going to be a market for people that want a console because people don't want to work on PCs. But maybe there's not always going to be a market if people can play Google Stadia and get the same exact quality. The internet service just has to improve enough, and with gigabit internet now, apparently that's probably going to be a thing.
Yeah. I still think we're a little bit off because I've tried to play a lot of cloud-based Xbox Game Pass stuff, and the delay is just noticeable enough that if I can download it, I will, because
Yeah, exactly.
unless I this is how I treat the cloud stuff. If I'm curious about a game and I want to see it before I like am gonna go play, it's like I use it for a demo, and then I'll cloud stream it, check it out, and then if I like it, then I'll download it if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the new PlayStation with your PlayStation Essential, I think. You can try the new releases for 2 hours, I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah.
then you decide whether or not you want to buy it.
Yeah. Some of those, even on PlayStation, though, some of the older games are cloud only. You can't download them.
Okay.
Which kind of sucks. Like some of the God of War remakes are cloud stream only. But we'll see.
Weird.
We'll see if it's good or not. But yeah, I mean, I'll continue to be a Game Pass person, just like Swift talked about a couple of months ago. Like, it's really cool to check out a game that you would never have bought and find something really neat and interesting just because you had access to it. But all right, so I'll give you my thoughts on the Series X so far. It's cool. It's 4K gaming, 60 frames. Like, it looks really awesome in our theater, but I'm gonna be using my PlayStation primarily now because the games I want to play are all on there. I'm not interested in Halo right now, and so there's not much else to draw me towards the Series X. I'm contemplating selling it, to be honest, but kind of sucks.
My 16-year-old self would be so disappointed looking at me now because I was such an Xbox fanboy.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have no reason to buy one. It's so expensive for what I would get in addition, besides obviously having a child at home and not even having enough game time to play PC and PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I will say it was cool this last weekend. Well, I'll talk about it when we played, but I did use the Series X this weekend with a buddy and our kids to play the Ninja Turtles game, and that's all through the power of Game Cloud or whatever, Game Pass. So it's got its benefits, like being able to use Game Pass on your console on a big screen TV is cool. But there's other ways to do that and make that work without paying for the Series X or S. But
Swift, did you feel a little bit dirty switching over to the PS5 when your entire life as a child or as a kid revolved around Xbox?
No.
Like
I
mine did, at
honestly
least.
didn't, because I was like, at first I was kind of like, well, I could buy a Series X or S, but then my Xbox One still works just fine. I don't ever turn it on unless I'm turning the TV on to watch something on Netflix or Hulu or something. So
Yeah.
at some point I was like, I want it. And dude, I'll be honest, because it was what, your first episode when we talked about God of War coming out, the
Yeah.
announcement and the trailer, and you guys, I thought it was going to be PS5 and PC, and you guys were like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'm buying a PS5 because I have to play that game.
yeah.
So that was really like the teetering point.
Yeah, Xbox doesn't have that title, right? They don't. They could announce any game that currently exists, and I would be like, okay, well, I'll just play on my computer. And
they need some new IP that just blows it out of the water, like kind of Gears of War did to like revamp things in between Halos. I mean, with their recent acquisitions of Bethesda and who else did they buy?
Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, Activision Blizzard, maybe, but also I'm going to be playing those exact games on my PC. So what do I do?
I was kind of in the same boat as you. Like, I was a Xbox guy, fanboy, like, because it was the first console I paid my own money for, and I think is probably when I switched over to PC gaming that loyalty was kind of gone.
I bet if we look back at this episode in 10 years, we'll be laughing at ourselves because maybe like Microsoft nails the cloud gaming like we talked about, and then PlayStation's just trying to hang on with their PlayStation 7 or whatever, and it's just not selling because everybody's got, cloud gaming and stuff.
They just call it the X Cloud. Be done with it. No more stupid names.
X Cloud Series Z.
You just plug it a little USB into your TV, and it plays natively on there. You Bluetooth the controller, and you're done. No more consoles.
Look look at this peasant using a controller still. I'll be mind controlling my games.
Minority Report.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, that's about all we got for Xbox. You guys got anything else to bring up before we bury it, put it to bed, call her dead?
Man, it makes me so sad because my life was so ingrained in the Xbox culture in the high school.
Did you have an
R.I.P.
Xbox T-shirt ever? That's how you know.
Oh no, I didn't want to admit that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say one thing that I do love about Xbox as a company, at least, is they're pretty good with like communication and transparency with their fan base. Like Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, is a gamer at heart, and he's very good at like communicating and advertising Game Pass and all that kind of stuff. Anytime he speaks, you can tell that he's not like a corporate douche, like doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Like he cares about the games, he cares about gameplay and all that kind of stuff. So they've got a good
Yeah.
art at the center of it, but they need.
Speaking of which, I used to listen to Larry Herb or Major Nelson's podcast like every single week as I was mowing yards for scraps. I wonder if he's still there. I don't even know, but I
don't know
visited
what
his
happened
site
to
like
Major
at
Nelson.
least once a day.
Yeah,
He's still got the Xbox logo on his Twitter, so I think he's still there.
Nice.
Look at that.
All right,
1.1 million followers.
Swift, you got anything else about Xbox?
No, sir.
Okay, let's move on to what we played this week. All right, Swift, lead us off.
Okay. I honestly didn't like I talked about earlier. I was kind of, felt under the weather. I got some weird stuff going on. I don't know what it is exactly, but like anxiety and like I don't know, everything kind of like piled on top of me earlier this week. So I was not in the gaming mood. Like you think that it would be easy to just log on to a game and play, but sometimes you just don't have the mental fortitude or capacity for it. So that was a lot of my week. So I didn't play all that much. I apologize to our avid listeners, because I know I started off strong with Road 96 as far as like the weird game that I played last week. I didn't get to one this week because of things mentioned, but I did play a little bit of God of War actually this afternoon when I got home from work. Still loving it. I need to beat it again. I just didn't get around to it. But still having a good time with that. Played some Heroes of the Storm briefly with the boys. Just some ARAM. Still really don't understand the whole construct of ranked or where I need to be going or anything like that. And so I need my coach, Taze or theStroke, with us to help me kind of vector my hatred.
Anthony said that you had some good ARAMs, though. He said you're getting a lot crisper on your damage.
Yeah. So figuring it out, and then played a little bit of Spider-Man. Honestly, Anthony was over on Saturday night, and I made him try the PS5 and Astrobot and all the controller stuff. He was enjoying swinging around the city. So played a little bit of that, but again, not too much. I really didn't get into too much gaming. I probably played like a total of an hour and 20 minutes of video games this entire week. So not too much from my end.
All right. Well, sometimes it just doesn't float the boat or just doesn't work out, but it's always
lucky
there.
Lucky for you, Mortuary Assistant comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, good thing.
We'll get him a good, a weird game. We'll find him one on Game Pass that's not necrophilia related, and then all right,
Make the cadavers nude.
God.
Psychopath.
Oh, that's so weird. Anyways,
Yeah.
All right, man. I will follow that up with what I played. So I have been going pretty hard on Elden Ring. So I have killed Godric the Golden, and now I'm in the yeah, thank you. It only took me, I think, honestly, I was lost count at about 30 attempts, and I thought about trying dabbling in the like summoning people to help me, but I was like, my pride took over, and I was like, no, I got this.
I won't do it. Yeah.
There was probably 5 or 6 attempts where literally he had this much health and just destroyed me. Sometimes they just get you with a combo that you just can't do anything about, and you go from full health to dead, and you're just like,
you just freeze up or something. Yeah.
I never stood a chance, but yeah, I moved on to the arcane college, and I'm at the bottom of that fighting some wolf guy. I don't know what's going on, but
did you get the Stray Collector's Edition?
Stray Collector's Edition? Me?
Yeah, you got the. Oh no, that's just your cat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you see how lifelike that thing is? I press circle to meow. Anyways, yeah, so Elden Ring, dude. Everything I've said about that game, tenfold. Like, the further you go into it, the more scenic it becomes, the cooler the bosses are. I tried fighting this random dragon I found, like, hoarding over some treasure. And no shot. Like, I will never be able to kill that thing unless I, like, level up 1,000 times. It's crazy. But there's a grizzly bear that just destroyed me. Like, it's hard, but it's fun.
Like that Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
Yeah, what the Revenant or whatever.
Yeah, the Revenant. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that game. It's really cool and perfect for the Steam Deck, to be honest. Like, I can just pull it up and try to hack my way through a couple more things and then save it and turn it off.
Shout out again to Tractor Beam.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
Everything we had said about it before you bought us that game, it's all wiped away. I love that game. And I'm constantly taking screenshots because it looks like a painting. It's insane.
That's so cool.
And some of the, I don't know the terminology of a lot of the, like, players can leave in-game hints for other players, but you can only choose from certain phrases and words. And so, like, I don't get a lot of what they're trying to say. Like,
it's like a Destiny raid or something.
Yeah, it's weird, but like some of them are helpful. Like, watch out, or it's like, pay attention to the right, and like as soon as you walk through, there's a thing that tries to kill you from the right. But then there's certain weird things like you'll find a mushroom in the forest, and there'll be like 5 things that you read that says "Praise mushroom, hail mushroom." Weird gamers.
I need to get that game just so I can leave you hints that say like "Don't die."
Oh, there's all kinds of troll ones that are like secret wall ahead, and you'll sit there and try to like do a bunch of stuff, and then you'll see another one that says, like, just around the corner that says liar. There's a liar ahead, and they're talking about the person that lied about it. It's comical. There's a lot of trolling that happens, but cool. I played more God of War. I've been switching between the PC and my Steam Deck on that one, and it works seamlessly for the saves on the cloud, but sometimes I just want to see it in like its highest fidelity on my computer. So, God, I love that game.
Yeah.
Where are you at? What are you up to in that game, Swift?
So I know you talked about Atreus being a little d-bag.
Yeah.
I basically just got to that point this afternoon.
Okay.
I thought I was somewhat close to you, but like when he kills Modri or whatever. Or sorry, no spoilers. But when you tell him not to, and he does it.
He does it anyway.
Like, you little shit.
Oh, it makes me fearful of parenthood at teenage years.
Yeah.
My kid already does that. It's like, hey, do not throw that toy. And then he'll look at you, stare you right in the eyes, and just throw it as hard as they can.
You gotta stop calling him boy. That's why.
Boy.
Cool. I fired up a couple of other things, but we'll talk about it. So the Ninja Turtles game, if you remember Turtles in Time from back in the day, or those old arcade games, it is a perfectly nostalgic recreation of that with like modern flair. Like, there's supers and like really cool combo moves that you can do. But that game is a ton of fun to play with like 4 people, especially when 2 of them are. That game is the perfect game to play if you're looking for a co-op game to play with kids, because they can tag along and kind of like have enough fun without you needing to explain anything, right? Because they can just mash X and fight the bad guys, and it's perfect. But it's actually requires a little bit of skill to kind of move along. So that game is really cool. I liked it a lot. I plan on playing that more.
Nice.
And then I fired up, just out of morbid curiosity, Deep Rock Galactic earlier today. And I went through the first like mission, and we need to play that together because it's got to be fun.
I downloaded it, so I want to play it for sure. I just haven't gotten in there yet.
Yeah.
My friend Donnie and I downloaded that when it was on PS4 or PS5, the free game of the month. Played it. It's pretty fun co-op game.
Yeah. I can imagine with 4 people, that's a ton of fun. Just that whole.
Yeah, you can like select your minor class and get different abilities, and different abilities help the team in different ways. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, we should check that out. We as a team. I think we tried, right? We had it on the event schedule and nobody showed up, but
Yeah.
including myself.
Life got in the way.
But yeah. And then lastly, I installed just to check it out. But PFeezy, thanks for your first time chat. Welcome to the chat. We're just talking about what we played this week. But I put No Man's Sky on my Steam Deck because I was looking for like a chill thing that I can do while the kids are kind of like climbing all over me and doing what they do. And that game's perfect for the Steam Deck. So if you got a Steam Deck, get yourself some No Man's Sky fired up. They've updated that game to the point of like, I feel like they don't owe us anymore after their major screw up, but it's good.
In the VR release too, they turned that game into like what could have been a blockbuster had they released it that way in the first place.
Yeah, it's good now. So if you gave up on that game, check it out because it's fixed. And then right before we started this, I was playing Overwatch with Jen, Overwatch 1, because the beta's closed for 2, and I'm officially a Widowmaker main, so get at me.
Nice.
Get those snipe videos up.
Yeah. All right, PickleMatt, what'd you play, man? Oh, I did play some HOTS with the boys as well, but you know how
as one does. Yeah, I was a little bit like Swift this week. A lot of stuff going on in life and whatnot, and just didn't feel like trying out anything new. I do need to get back to Outer Wilds and finish that one up, but the only thing I played was Fortnite and HOTS, which is kind of sad because one's a dead game and one's a kid's game, but I had fun. I'm getting better at HOTS. I'm starting to make some good plays when people that I don't know in real life are playing with me, so I have no proof of it. Maybe I'll send you some replays, Stroke, and you can be impressed.
I'll do some gameplay analysis and hit you with the.
There we go.
The commentary.
Yeah, give me your pointers. Yeah,
gotta watch some film and run it back.
Yeah. See, but, here you went left, but you should have gone right.
Yeah, that's right. Stop charging in to get those globes. But I do want to try out instead of Deep Rock Galactic, I want to try out Arcadegeddon with you guys.
Arcadegeddon. I downloaded it today based on your warning that it was the last day, so it's ready.
That one looks pretty cool. I'll try Deep Rock Galactic with you guys if we play some Arcadegeddon, because we talked about that one a couple episodes ago, but we've still haven't gotten a chance to do that.
Is that on Epic?
It's on. It was on PS Plus. Yeah, grab it on your PlayStation.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll have to do that.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so I just want to clarify: Fortnite is the dead game, and HOTS is the kids' game, right? No. Okay.
There's no kids on HOTS, just really angry, sweaty people.
They're not angry; they're just kids.
No offense, I'm exactly the same.
Cool. Well, you'll listeners, you'll be hearing more about Heroes of the Storm, whether my wife likes it or not, because starting next week we will be playing in an organized league, and we'll update you on how things go there. We might post some VODs of that to maybe the One More Game YouTube channel if you guys want to check out our our wins. Of course, they're going to be wins.
That's
but
right.
Yeah.
The tournament
So if you-
is it's a round robin tournament, and we'll be doing best of 3 matches against other nerds. So come check us out. We'll get you more information over on OMG_podcastGG, and you guys can go check us out.
I know Blonde Bandit's going to be watching.
She
our
said I roll
heroic victories.
in the chat. I roll.
I roll. Yeah, off the top rope. Cool. All right, let's go around the room. PickleMatt, you've had 2 weeks to think about what you want to tell these guys before you let them go their merry way. What do you got?
Yeah, don't say a fanboy for life. There's lots of gaming opportunities out there that may surprise you, like PlayStation did for me. So just because your childhood was mostly composed of Xbox doesn't mean you can't find other systems that might be kind of awesome, like a gaming PC or a PlayStation. And the same goes for the opposite, right? So somebody convinced me that Xbox Series X is the greatest thing ever, and maybe I'll give it a shot.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
I'm not going to.
All right, Swift, what's up?
Dude, I was trying to think about it, and like we were halfway through, and I was like, shit, he's gonna ask me any words of wisdom or whatever. So I just wrote something down real quick, and I said, don't buy Mortuary Assistant and be a psychopath. Just don't do it. There's no reason for it.
I'm pretty sure you are before you buy it.
Well, true.
About it.
Yeah, but so that's probably bad advice. If you are a sociopath, you should buy this game and use it as your outlet instead of murdering real people.
There we go.
I've watched true crime shows, and that's never how it works.
That's true. I watched Dexter, so I know all about sociopaths.
If you guys, so send us an email, and if you really want me to, I might play that game if we get enough interest that we can, and I might film myself. I might stream it. So send us an email if you want me to do that. If it's a reasonable price, I might put myself through that.
You gotta make sure the kid and wife are asleep before you start. Although they probably won't be for very long because you'll be screaming from the other room.
Yeah.
Oh god, that just disturbs me. Anyways, all right, cool beans. I'll let you know that if you miss arcade gaming, get on Ninja Turtles because it was a blast, and you're gonna have a great time with it. But I think it's probably better with multiple people. But whatever. All right, and if you're looking for an Xbox Series X, I give you best friend price.
Best friend. Family and friend discount.
Get rid of it on our Xbox episode. Come on, man. Move.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us for episode 20. It's been great to have you guys. We love talking about all things gaming. You can find more content at on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or OMGpodcast.podbean.com. And we also got a YouTube channel up, so check us out there. And that'll be in the description of the podcast below. And you can reach out to us at OMG_podcastGG on Twitter and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know what you thought of the show. What do you want to hear? Send us a topic that you want us to talk about. And if you kind of catch the theme of what's going on, we might be covering another console company here in the near future, but I think
Sega.
I don't know. I think that one's probably enough. We've covered enough already. But anyways, you can find me streaming from time to time at twitch.tv/the_stroke, as well as that same handle at Twitter and Instagram. Swift is the same over at twitch.tv/Swiftmida, as well as the socials, and I'm ImPickleMatt as well. Reach out, and then if you want to join the Discord, just go ahead and send us an email, omgpodcastgg@gmail.com. We'll get you an invite to the Discord. There's always someone on there playing games. You can join us, have a good time, and maybe join our HOTS team, because we're going to need subs, because getting a bunch of pilots together to play a video game on a scheduled night is not the easiest thing to do. So, yeah.
And tell your friends about the podcast if you got any gaming friends. Maybe they'll hate it, but we'll take that blame.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll love it.
Cool. All right, gentlemen, good talking to you. Way to go out and celebrate the 20th episode tonight by playing your favorite game. And I'll leave you with this thought. Just because you have to grow up doesn't mean you have to stop playing. Game on, gamers, and we'll see you on the next episode of One More Game. Swift, PickleMatt, see ya!
See ya.
See ya.